Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The latest theory on Scobie Gate is that Scobie's agent may have sent out a draft. A source told The Times that United Talent Agency, Scobie's agent, had sent a draft version of the 400-page book to Xander, which featured the names. Per the report, a final proof was sent later on, but the translators had started work from the earlier draft. Saskia Peters, one of the translators, told the Mail Online that the names of the royals were there in black and white when she was sent the text, and that she had only done her job to translate what is in front of me. The Mirror reported on other differences in the Dutch edition of Endgame, including Prince Willaim being called heartless, something that doesn't seem to appear in other versions. In context, Willaim allegedly denied Harry a spot on a private plane to Balmoral to be at the Queen's deathbed. The English version reads, Harry was informed that Willaim had already secured a flight with his uncles Andrew and Edward's wife Sophie, but he couldn't get in touch with anyone about joining that flight. It adds that a source claims it was upsetting to witness and Harry was completely by himself. However, the Mirror reports the Dutch version apparently goes on to say a source close to the Sussexes said it was heartless to deny him the chance to go to Scotland to say goodbye to his grandmother. This was not the time to be petty. Later on, the English version adds that a family source said Willaim ignored his brother on the day the Queen died and clearly did not want to see him. The Dutch edition adds, Willaim purposely ignored him. He didn't want to see his brother and didn't want to help. He was and is still angry because Harry revealed private issues. He thinks that is unforgivable. King Charles has returned to Britain for urgent discussions with Prince Willaim regarding the royal racism controversy that has arisen following Omid Scobie's new book release. Senior aides are set to convene to devise a strategy to address the potential repercussions from the book Endgame, which implicates Charles and Kate in conversations about the skin tone of Prince Archie. The meeting between the two royal households will focus on crafting a response strategy, with officials emphasizing the need for time and care before making any decisions. Palace insiders have indicated that all responses, including legal action against the author, who has been labelled as Meghan's mouthpiece, are being considered. King Charles, who flew back to the UK after several days attending the COP28 Environment Summit in Dubai, is understood to be taking public concerns surrounding the book very seriously and is worried of the damage it could cause to the royal brand worldwide. However, officially senior advisors say the working royal family will this week continue carrying out their duties in a business-as-usual fashion, with the initial tactic to be seen to be rising above the row. Charles and Camilla are currently at Sandringham, but will return to London midweek for a series of official engagements, including a ceremony at Buckingham Palace and a charity carol concert at Westminster Abbey. A source close to the palace told the Sunday Telegraph discussions have been had and will continue those discussions this week, but not in a crisis talks manner. Decisions will be made with care and time and professionalism rather than rushed over a weekend. In a further development, Buckingham Palace is investigating who at their end could potentially have seen the letters between the King and Meghan Markle in which the names were allegedly mentioned. However, sources say they are confident the leak has not come from within the palace walls, believing only a tiny handful of people have ever seen them. Scobie has meanwhile attempted to distance himself from the Sussexes, writing on Twitter, "I'm not Meg's pal." Palace Intrigue will be right back. Meghan's Hollywood handlers are said to be horrified and exasperated over Endgame. Former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole said, Harry must act. Only he can silence the racist storm engulfing the family. Prince Harry should issue a statement making it clear that he does not accuse his relatives of racism. Now is the time for the prince to clear up his highly damaging mess. Harry should also explain how correspondence between Meghan and the then Prince of Wales, now King, in which she complained about the attitude of other family members towards her, came to be relied on by Scobie to underpin the pernicious allegation of racism. The Express, referenced a senior production source at Hollywood agency WME, are horrified and exasperated by a never-ending scandal that threatens to take a wrecking ball to the couple's future plans. The source told The Express, there are potential deals on the table for Meghan that could just as quickly vanish if this continues. Aside from the race row, even the American public is growing weary of mean-spirited and downright cruel attacks on the Princess Kate. Whether or not Meghan and Harry were the sources of these, people will simply assume they were because of their past connections with Mr. Scobie. Unless they immediately distance themselves from him and denounce his book as either untrue or reported out of context, then they must expect to be part of the backlash against it. If they aren't seen to distance themselves from him, a string of deals being negotiated for Meghan as well as their production company Archwell could all come undone at the drop of a hat. They're in a very difficult situation, and now they must figure out how to navigate their way out before any more damage is done. Their very future as anything like a Hollywood power couple absolutely depends on that. Meghan and Harry were not included on the guest list for a wedding of a close UK friend amid high tensions within the royal family. According to the Sunday Times, Hugh Grosvenor, believed to be a godparent to the couple's son Archie, did not invite the duo to his June wedding to Olivia Henson. It's incredibly sad that it has come to this, said a source close to Harry and Grosvenor. The source further noted that Harry and Markle were excluded to minimise drama among the family. The insider said he wanted to avoid anything overshadowing the day, especially for Olivia, and doesn't want any awkwardness. Hugh was one of the very close friends of William and Harry's, who has maintained strong bonds and a line of communication with both. He wishes they could put their heads together and patch things up, but realises it's unlikely to happen before the wedding. The King, William and Kate were invited. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.